We're back.
Man, I know.
Hey, I missed you last week.
I know. I was asked, "What, you have no podcast today?" I'm like, "It's 7:30. If I would have had one, it would have been at 4:30 my time." So yes, I was asked about you and the podcast. So, and I said, "What are you doing?" So I went in and I saw your adventures and tastings, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is so awesome!" As I was making watermelon margaritas.
Yes, we are going to. I'm gonna get you this. This is from Kansas.
Yay!
From Boot Hill Distillery, which is right by the Boot Hill Museum in Dodge City, Kansas.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, this is I'm not going to say what it is on air because they have a lot of things there. It was great to meet the staff. My shout outs to the staff at Boot Hill Distillery. Wow, did they make our vacation tasting really interesting. But I told them I picked one that you and I are going to taste on air. And I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because you guys are going to have to tune into the show when we do it. When I get it up to you. So what did you guys do?
Well, let's see now. Went rafting on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. I actually went rafting the very first time last year. I wanted, because I started kayaking last year and I fell in love with it, and then the rafting. And it seems like I always got one of those life preservers that was a little stinky. So I ordered my life preserver online, made sure I got it, made sure it fit. It was a woman one, so it had plenty of room to be able to do the kayaking and rafting and stuff. And I had everything ready. For some reason, when I was driving, I'm like, where's the life preserver? Did I not bring it with me? And sure enough, it wasn't with me. And I'm like, it was in the room, wasn't in the dining room area, and it wasn't right outside. So I'm like, where the heck did it go? Well, it got moved for whatever reason to the living room. I don't go to the living room unless I'm going to hang out in the living room. So there it was when we got back.
Yeah, we decided to leave for our vacation Thursday night rather than Friday morning.
Oh yeah, perfect.
All right, so we drove up to to southern Oklahoma. So like we didn't have as far a drive to go our first day, and we could do a little more other adventures along the way. Well, we went at night. I mean, we left at like 9:30 at night to drive up. All right, and it's only like 2 hours up, so we were in our hotel by 11.
Oh, that's really nice because then you just wake up there.
Yeah. The next morning, I get up, I'm packing the car, and I'm like, oh crap, where's my sunglasses? I'm going to have to drive for 5 days in prairie land with no sunglasses. And I realized they were in my briefcase. Because we were at a meeting before we left, and I took them off, and I put them in my briefcase at the meeting. Then I put the briefcase in the car. Never once took them out, because by the time I come out of the meeting, it was almost dark. Didn't need them. So I never even thought, I'm like, oh my God, thank God I put them in my briefcase. So.
Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. Mine, because I'm always wearing glasses, mine transition.
Yeah, I have the transition ones. I have the other pair like this that are transition ones, but they always, on this show, they always shadow. So I got a separate set that doesn't shadow with my lighting, because all my lightings would either echo or shadow, and you couldn't see my eyes. So I got a second set. All right, and they will, but these are just readers, and I got to see these because I can't see the print of anything. Readers, yeah.
Yeah, I have my progressive ones, which are my laptop ones, and then these are my everyday wear. I could drive with these. The ones that I use on the computer, that one, they're a little bit bigger, and they have progressives. These are progressive, but it's less space to read. It's more space to be able to see, whereas the other one is more space to be able to see, from the laptop to me. But there is, even though you have the anti-glare and all that, there's still a certain level of glare. So when I'm sitting at my desk, I have to move the blind so that the light doesn't come straight through, because otherwise I have this shadow of light on my glasses, and then even I have a hard time seeing. So
wow,
I know I have issues. I have all sorts of issues.
All right, so hold on. I am going to try to see if I can find. I took a picture to show you.
Okay.
Of something that we are going to talk about getting.
Ooh, okay.
First of all right, it's on our Facebook page. All right, but here's the picture of the girl at the distillery.
All right. I remember seeing that.
Yep. Here is what I found. That, ladies and gentlemen, we actually, I mean, as soon as I found it, I texted you on their show. and said, this would be a good idea for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So it is a decanter bottle with 4 glasses, and the glasses look like these. I got some of their glasses.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Okay.
But we're going to get those glasses and decanter with our podcast logo on it.
Love it.
All right. And I think what we may do is we may get, I think we're going to get like 2 or 3 for samples to try them out.
Right.
And then like we'll probably get 2 different kinds of samples so we both can see what they look like. And we'll give samples away to listeners of the first batch before we buy them. So the first one will go out to a lucky listener and everybody else will have to buy them.
So we're going to figure out a way, maybe the one that gets us the most YouTube subscribers, the one that comments each week. We're going to figure out those fun things to have you all engage and have you win a little something, something.
Yeah. So, all right, let's thank our listeners who are by. Robert stopping by. Thank you, Robert, for coming by and always sharing what's on your mind. We appreciate you very much. Cindy, Bucket List Web Show has shared our things out. Cindy, we're going to be on your show on
the 21st.
Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. We're going to be on her show on National Tequila Day. All right, we're going to be on her show together, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So, all right, she said it's Happy Mojito Day. We did mojitos last month.
Yeah.
We're ahead of whatever day it is. We do it way ahead of time. Except for what was the one that we did like Margarita Day or something? We did that like 3 months late.
Yeah. It happens. I hate it when that happens.
Anyway. So tonight, what we have is we're going to do some Americano theme this month. And what we mean by Americano theme, I got my notes in here, is we're going to do some Americano things. American whiskeys.
Yep.
American pies. And some American chocolates.
I don't know that I picked American chocolates. Let me grab the Twix and Almond Joy.
Oh, no. What chocolates did you get?
I got Lindor and Godiva.
Oh, no. They're both. Yeah, well, Godiva's not, but Lindor, I think, is made here. Lindor has a factory where they're made here, I believe. But I got Ghirardelli. All right. I got a packet with 4 different Ghirardelli squares into them.
Actually, I know I have some Ghirardelli stashed away somewhere because I love that stuff.
Yeah. I bought a whole packet of them today, and I've got like 172%, 160%, and then I got a sea salted caramel, a sea salted almond, and a sea salted caramel. So
I kept it a dark chocolate because I figured a dark chocolate would go well with cherries.
So today our pies, all right, are cherry pie and lemon meringue pie. So let me give my shout outs to where I got mine from, and we'll see where you got yours from. So my cherry pie, I tried to go to different locations. Every restaurant around that has it was out. So I found some at Sprouts today.
Oh.
Considering it was pie, I wanted it fresh. I didn't want to buy it 2 days ago and have it sit. So I got it fresh. The lemon meringue pie is from our Tops Cafe across the street.
Oh, perfect.
Which I've gotten hamburgers and stuff from them before. So, and we were there for breakfast yesterday, and I'm like, you have lemon meringue pie? And she says, yes. I said, okay, I will come in and get it tomorrow. Today, when I walked in, she goes, you're here for your lemon meringue pie, aren't you? And I'm like, yep, make it look good. It's going to be on the podcast tonight. So let's see how I did. Well, I did with my square, and then we'll hear where you got yours from. So I got mine on the board that I love. All right.
Nice.
So I have like 2 different forks. All right. And yes, 2 forks because I don't want to mix my tastes. All right. And then let's tell us where you got your pies from, and then we'll go into our whiskeys.
So I was like, it's been a whirlwind. I've been so busy, and then had a visitor from Switzerland. So I was like running all over the place. And so I went to Safeway to get something just in case I didn't have time to make other stops. And I couldn't find lemon meringue pie. And I had looked at a couple of different places. So I ended up, instead of lemon meringue, it was a little lemon cream pie.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So
was that in the frozen section, and then you just warm it up?
No. This particular one is from Cirrus O'Leary mini lemon cream pie, graham crumb bottom with sour cream lemon filling, finished with creamy whipping cream.
Yeah.
And they are, let me see if I can see where they're out of. I am not seeing, but then again, Washington, Airway Heights, Washington. So this one is local to me, but look how cute it is. It's just the most adorable little mini pie.
Yeah.
And so I got that. The other thing that I got was, you know how sometimes you go to McDonald's and you get the little apple pies?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about getting those too.
So I got them. These are made actually fresh. Again, I didn't want to wait. And so this is a yesterday buy at Safeway in Hazeldale. So I heated it up for 20 seconds. And so I got my little pie in that fashion. I almost got a whole cherry pie, but I'm like, I can't eat a whole cherry pie.
Yeah.
So this one came with 4 of them.
I know. That's where I'm at. I have this, and I'm pretty much here by myself all week.
Right. So that'll last. So then I thought, okay, so I have my little cherry pie and my apple and my lemon.
I like how you got your tray set up. You got a round tray. I went with the square cutting board tonight for display.
Yeah, so, no, it's great. Your little.
I love that cutting board, and Gwen bought a second one because I love it so much. So, so let's go into our whiskeys. All right. We originally had planned, because we're going to do cherry, we were going to try to do one that we thought was available for both of us, but it was not. But I was able to get it today last minute. We were able to find it, but I had to buy a large bottle. This will be on my shelf for probably the next 9 months, because I do not drink that much Jim Beam black cherry.
And it's just not cherry.
Yeah.
We'll do it again during the winter, because there are some cherry bourbon drinks that are more for winter. So we'll do that. So the places that I went to like 4 different liquor stores, and they're like, oh yeah, we have it on order. The one this morning that I tried, one more place, they said, oh yeah, a lot of people have been asking for it. We're actually placing the order today. And I said, well, it does me no good, because I need it.
I need it today. Yeah.
And so what I did is that I asked them, I said, do you have any other whiskeys or bourbons that are cherry flavor? And they didn't. It seems that cherry is being asked for, but for whatever reason, they don't have it. They had a vodka. I did not want vodka. So what I went with was a brandy. And the reason that I went with brandy is this one, Mr. Boston, was because a brandy can be an after dinner drink. And with pie, I figure brandy, after dinner pie, that works, dessert.
Well, also the brandy, and I would think a cherry and a brandy would be a really like a sour taste, I would think.
I got my little glass for that one.
Okay, yeah.
To get a taste of that.
So I got my glasses, my typical glass, all right, that I can do, and I'm going to do it several different ways. Number one, I'm going to taste it by itself. Then I'm going to do my second glass, and I'm going to taste it over ice. And then I'm going to do my third glass, and I'm going to mix it with Dr. Pepper.
Okay, go.
So I got the Jim Beam Red Stag, all right. And literally, I've had this many, many years ago when I was actually at the Jim Beam Distillery in Kentucky. It was one of the tastings I did, and I loved it. So that's why I picked it. But I figured going with cherry pie would be really good. Now, in the coming weeks, we got a lot of good pies coming, but we chose these 2 pies this week.
Yeah.
It'd be fun, all right, because it would go with cherry. So
this brandy is sweet. I'm thinking you can do a lot with the cherry brandy, in my opinion, swapping out other cherry flavored, because some of the recipes call for cherries, and then some of them require you to muddle them or to, in this case, this one is in simple syrup. That way you can get the cherry flavor. But if you have a cherry whiskey, if you are out of season from cherries, you can still do your drink, because the flavor of the cherry whiskey is going to be there. In this case, the cherries in there, there's a sweetness, there's a warmth. I can see this one in the winter. this brandy.
Yeah, I would think this would probably be more of a wintry. I would probably want to drink this more. And I'm just smelling the cherry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I should have brought some of my spiked maraschino cherries up.
Ah, that would have been
in my refrigerator downstairs. When I get my new house, there will be a refrigerator in my office to be able to handle this.
Yeah, that's going to be important. They do sell sour cherries. So if you want to go that route, you can do that, or you can make your own sour by adding your lemon. But today I have with me the two different types of cherries, your Kroger brand, as well as the Luxardo that run $25. Let's see now, $6 or $5? $25. Let's see now. But
okay.
Very thick.
Yeah, I have the ones that are spiked, but spiked, and I have the spiked hot, which are spiked with the cinnamon.
Oh, wow. That's definitely
again, both of them are downstairs. Anyway, but man, I've not tasted this, Gladys. I mean, I've had this before. The story about 2000. I'd have to go look it up in my timeline because I have pictures from when I went there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was 13.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's either 13 or 14 that I went there. I want to say it was 13, but it could have been 14. I know it was before October of 2014 and after June of 2011 because of which motorcycle I had.
Ah, that's funny. So if you look at this little, you can see the cream in there,
mm-hmm.
and then the graham cracker at the bottom.
Are you gonna taste the lemon first, or are you gonna to go with it?
Oh my goodness, this is super yummy. No, I tasted the cherry first, and then now the lemon. This is close to a lemon meringue, that creaminess. So this one is more. This is a whipped cream. So the way you make the peaks on a lemon meringue pie is that you beat the egg whites. So the egg yolks go into the lemon portion of it, and then the egg white goes into the meringue. So you beat it until the really stiff peaks form, and you want it to be just like stuck onto the beater.
Yeah.
You then put that, you're essentially pouring it on top, so it's got this gorgeous look of a cloud. And then there's two ways of doing it. You can either use a torch to brown it, or you can, the way that I learned, because I didn't have a torch at the time, is you put it in the oven to give it that nice brown, let it set and brown.
How long would you put it in the oven to do it?
Oh my goodness. I think to get the brown, because you have to cook the whole thing, but the brown, I think it's an additional like 5 to 10 minutes to get that brown. It depends on how much brown you want on it. If you would like it lighter, for me, I like it slightly more caramely. So I want a little bit more color. So I think I threw it in a little bit longer.
So, but like I've never, I've not made pies. If my mom was here, she's good at pies. And Gwen, she's not here that much. And like, I'm not a pie maker. So it's really, but some of our pies I'm going to have to make because it's just really hard to get this month.
Yeah.
But the lemon meringue, so you bake it before and then you put the stuff on top of it and brown it, right?
Well, you still have to bake the top also because it is egg whites. So you're baking, then you're adding, and you're baking some more, and then you're browning. So some people want to torch it to get the brown where they want, whereas me, I just threw it in the oven to get it brown.
All right. So with the cherry pie, and I got a cherry with the crust on top, not a cherry lattice.
Okay.
So I'm going to try it now with a piece of the lemon meringue, and I have a piece down here below of the lemon without the meringue.
Okay.
So I'm going to try that first and try to dip a little meringue on here.
Because you got to have a little bit of everything. Get that. Tell me how you like that cherry whiskey with that lemon meringue. Because I know how I feel about this brandy with this lemon cream pie.
I got to tell you, I would rather have it with cherry pie.
So I didn't think I was going to like it with this brandy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of the sweetness of the brandy and the tartness of the lemon, I was like, ooh, I like this.
Okay. I like the other better, but the lemon's got a creaminess to it that's just a little bit. I'm going to try this again.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I was pleasantly surprised because one, I wasn't sure if I was going to like this brandy because I do drink a little bit of brandy, but it's been a while. But cherry flavor, I don't normally go for flavored anything. And it's
Yeah.
sweeter than I normally like, but this combination of tart, citrus, and sweet with the cherry, I was like, oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm tasting this, and I almost feel like the lemon meringue's bouncing off of it, of the cherry. I'm not one, and I know we had a little discussion before we went live tonight about flavors in vodkas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of flavored vodkas. I would rather put the flavor in the drink and use the vodka. To me, it robs some of the power of the vodka, not the taste, but the power of the vodka. Because vodka's a taste. But you've noticed that almost always it robs the power. And I'm not talking like I want to get drunk power. I'm talking like the kick and everything that goes with the vodka. It seems to dull it down when you add flavor to it. You found that?
I don't even remember when was the last time I even tried a flavored vodka. But Kettle One has these botanical vodkas that I've been curious to taste to see how I like them because they're supposed to be lighter, fruitier, citrusy. So all you need to do is pour it over ice. I'm like, is that going to give me a headache the next day? But it is Kettle One. So I do like Kettle One. Do I want to ruin my taste of Kettle One and try the botanicals? I'm not sure. I'd rather have vodka with, as you said, with my own additions to it, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And
chocolate.
I think that chocolate.
Chocolate. Oh my God, that's heaven.
Really? Okay. I'm going to try it with I cleanse
the palate and go to another chocolate and try and see. But I mean, I just hit the 60%. Wait till I hit the intense dark and see.
So I will tell you that I just got one of those little doohickey guys that makes the whipping cream, the whipping cream. And I was really excited, got the charger, and the roommate said, he used to work for Starbucks. So we went to get all the appropriate things and we decided to start with chocolate flavored whipping cream. And it feels like a mousse with a little cherry on top. But what I found is that when I added it to a banana split that I made on Saturday, it was like way too sweet. So I prefer the just traditional whipping cream because then I can add my flavors and it's just whipping cream. And I think the same with vodka is just traditional, purist, add what you want or not.
I am telling you, this goes really good with chocolate. This, so folks, again, I'm drinking the Jim Beam Red Stag brand. All right, Jim Beam used to have a whole other line called the Red Stag brand, but they only have Red Stag in the cherry now, and it's black cherry. It's not regular cherry; it's black cherry Red Stag, and I think it's a bourbon, or is it a whiskey? It's a straight bourbon whiskey. It says so. It's bourbon. Okay. All right, which means it would have to fall within the lines of bourbon to be. So, oh my God, with chocolate, I've done it with 2 chocolates. The only other one I'm going to do is a sea salt almond chocolate. You all right?
That was just not a good combination.
What wasn't? What did you do?
The Lindor Blue, which is the dark chocolate.
Yeah.
With the cherry brandy. And I'm still feeling it right here. It was like this clash of sweet upon sweet. Mm-hmm. And it was a little too much, and I did not like it. So I'm like trying to
rinse. Grab your Topo Chico and rinse. Get the taste out.
Oh my goodness, that was wow.
All right, I'm telling you, this here goes. Now I'm drinking it neat. All right, which means no ice.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, so at Craig Duswalt's thing, who introduced the 2 of us, at his event this weekend, Friday night we had our mastermind party.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and at the mastermind party they had open bar with tickets. So Craig gives me the tickets to pass out. Yeah, that's a good thing. And basically the bartender's like, go see Tim and get me tickets, But like they had the only bourbon they had was just regular Jim Beam.
Oh.
So I go up and I said, okay, I'll take regular Jim Beam. And the guy's putting ice in. I'm like, no ice, straight. I mean, and I said to him, I said, I'll take Jim Beam neat. And he puts ice, and I'm like, no, neat means no ice. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not sure you knew that, but I mean, I never went to drinking my bourbons or my whiskeys neat until I actually one time tasted, when I started to do taste without gulping, and I realized how much the taste difference is with water. Now I'm going to add an ice cube and pour a little bit more in another cup. So
I was at Timberline Lodge, and it's just gorgeous. So Timberline Lodge. So have you ever seen The Shining? I'm sure you have.
I'm not. I avoided that movie.
So look up The Shining, but it's quite interesting. I saw it 20 years ago or so. Well, the lodge, the outside of the lodge was taken at Timberline. So the inside was not. The inside was elsewhere, but the outside was Timberline Lodge. So that is a famous location. So and there's also a lot of skiing during the summer. So Olympic skiers and snowboarders will go up to Timber Lodge to practice during the summer. One of the few places that maintains snow. So we're up there, and I ordered an old fashioned, and then there was another one with the Westward whiskey that was absolutely looked delicious. I didn't order that one. I just got and that one was a Manhattan. I got the old fashioned, and I'm so used to asking for my big ice cube. Well, this time I didn't, and they bring it with all this ice, and I'm like, and she's looking at me, and I said, I want one big ice cube, not the ton of ice. And she goes, well, that's the way we always make it. I said, I'm sure that's the way you do it. She goes, I'll take it back. I said, no, I'll drink it. I said, but I'll have to drink it fast, because what will happen is the ice will melt and it'll water down my old fashioned, and I don't want to water down old fashioned. So I had to drink it faster than I would have liked, because I like to sip on my old fashioned over lunch or dinner or whatever it is. And that was a late lunch, and I was a little disappointed, but it still tasted good, at least the first half of it before it started to dilute.
Rena says her hubby's old-fashioned. Old-fashioned is her hubby's favorite. See, Rena, that's why you and your husband are coming to Texas to hang out with us.
Oh, I was thinking that her hubby was old-fashioned, and it's her hubby's favorite.
Yes, Rena, we think your hubby's old-fashioned. Anyway,
we love you, Rena.
Do you have those stainless steel cubes? Have you seen those?
Yes, and actually, what I have, besides I have used the stainless steel cubes, what I have are stainless steel bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So they stay in the freezer, and so I will put in bullets. They look like bullets, and then I'll put in my scotch, which I did. My 18-year-old Glenfiddich was a gift from Mr. Switzerland that came out, and he got me an 18-year-old Glenfiddich, which was delicious. So I put the bullets in his glass, and I put the scotch, and I gave it to him, and he's like, what? It's like, it's okay. They are stainless steel ice cubes, if you will. It's kind of fun. They don't maintain as cold as I would like. I would rather have one big ice cube, and that actually helps open up the whiskeys when you have an ice cube, because it just slightly melts just a little, enough to open up your scotch or your whiskey or your bourbon. So that's my I
like to frost my glasses for things like my beers.
Right.
All right. I don't like frosted glasses for like my mixed drinks. I would rather mix them up with ice.
Right.
So, all right, things like that. But like, I'm the big cubes for the one. But yeah. Anyway.
So
next, I'm going to. So I just taste it. Wait a minute. I got to do the ice cube one with cherry pie, which of course I love, and chocolate I love. Now I got to do it with the lemon meringue.
There you go. So, that's over here. I almost put in my simple syrup into my cherries. So these are the cherries that have simple syrup in them. So I'm keeping them over here. They've been sitting for like over an hour in simple syrup. And these are fresh cherries. How do you like it?
You know, with the ice cubes in chilling it, it gives a better flavor with the lemon meringue.
Okay.
And that's probably because it is watering it down as well. So, which we know what ice cubes do. They will water down your bourbon. So I've got a question for our live listeners to answer this week, though. You know, for most part, we introduce the drinks the day of. All right. Would you guys, our live listeners, like it if we told you a couple days ahead of time what our drinks were so you could try to get them and drink them with us? Just tell me a yes or no. Give me a hashtag yes. We want to drink with you. Hashtag no. We want to see the drinks and use them to plan our parties. Because Monday night's really not a drinking night.
Right.
We planned this on Monday night with the thought of what you were doing with your parties on Friday.
Yep.
So that you could plan ahead to do Fridays, something interesting we come up with on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got so we have one. Rena wants to see the drinks, and Cindy wants to see the drinks. So we'll see it. All right. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Because once in a while we will tease you of, hey, grab this, or we will be sharing this.
Well, I can put the podcast up the day before, but some of the stuff that I've been dealing with and selling a house and everything, you know what I mean? It's scheduling.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't had to cancel the show with you during this, but I've had to cancel Katrina, my other show that I do with Katrina. Like
G-spot. The business G-spot. Sorry, the business G-spot.
Yeah, the business G-spot. I've had to cancel that one several times over the last few weeks because of the fact that there's stuff that I've got to go do because of the house.
Right.
I can't be here to do both, and I hate it. But anyway, so all right, I'm going to do the third thing that I was going to combine on mine. Well, I don't. What were you doing there?
So on this one, there was really nothing I was going to do with it. That one, I just wanted to taste it straight. There was I guess I could try to make let me see. I think I had that's the whiskey sour.
So no, I didn't bring my mixing cup.
Sour, I'm going to make it with the Breckenridge bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
Because the other one that I had was this one that it calls for Dr. Pepper, and I don't drink soda. So what I was looking up is that Di Serono can be a substitute for flavor of the Dr. Pepper, and I've never had it. So I'm like, I think I'm going to do that. Let me see if I have the...
So while she's doing that, I just take the same whiskey that I'm doing and mixed it with Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
All right. Now, I do have my stir spoon to stir it a little bit, so go ahead.
So it calls for 2 to 3 maraschino cherries. So let's pull out a couple of these little guys in here. I probably should have used the other ones, and I went for the ones because I have them all over here. And it says to muddle the cherries and add the lemon. So I found
that is a fantastic drink, by the way. Even if you don't like Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I love Dr. Pepper. I just don't drink soda.
I don't either. I don't drink it anymore or any less.
And then the lemon juice and the bourbon. Bourbon goes on top. And it calls for 1.5 ounces of bourbon.
And a winner again with the cherry pie. Oh my God. So good. So good. Oh.
So keeping it U.S., Colorado here. I'm going to add the Di Serono, which I've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that smells yummy.
Yeah, I've had Di Serono before too. It does have that similar taste. Still, I love Dr. Pepper. So when I mix it with certain things, it's really good. The other thing I've mixed Dr. Pepper with is with the cinnamon whiskeys.
Oh, okay.
All right. Because I like my cinnamon whiskeys, and I've actually had the cinnamon whiskeys with ginger ale, and that's called what? what's that called? Like a highball or something like that? I don't know what that's called. When you put ginger ale with your bourbon or whiskey.
Oh,
If you know, put it in the chat.
yes, please. Oh yeah, that's better. I added just a little bit more of the Di Serono to get that flavor in there.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten two of the Di Seronos like 3 months ago because I'm like, oh, I gotta try it, and I hadn't tried it. So here I am adding the original since 1925 from Italy. So yeah, I never tried it before, so I was curious, but I didn't want to buy a big bottle because what if I don't like it? That's why I love these little guys, because you can try something different, something new.
I was looking for the little bottles of the Jim
Stag.
Beam Reg Stag today but then again, this was only $22.
Oh, that's
Some
not
of
bad.
the stuff we get, I guarantee you guys, I will not tell you how much I paid for this one, but I'm going to tell you I paid a lot more than $22 for this little bottle of whiskey.
Now that bottle probably would have been in Washington about 35, and here in Oregon about 28.
Oh yeah, I will tell you this, because Gladys and I have expensive taste when it comes to whiskey.
We don't,
We're saying it to be nice to you listeners, because really what we like to say when you're not listening is we have taste.
We have very expensive taste. I've had expensive taste since I was a kid. Where that came from, I don't know. My mama doesn't know because I grew up pretty dirt poor.
Yeah.
But there were certain things that I was very specific about, even when I was little. I remember embarrassing my mom one time. We were at this one little hole-in-the-wall restaurant that I loved at Taquitos in Olvera Street in LA, across from Union Station. And we actually sat inside. Usually, as we grew up, we would get the taquitos, sit under the tree and eat the little taquitos. So we're sitting inside, and I'm, 4 years old, and I'm looking around, and I tell Mom, this isn't a very nice place. And the owner was right there.
Oh my God.
Like, just, please open up and just eat me whole, because this is embarrassing. So, sorry, Mama.
So, yeah, I'm judgmental on my restaurants, very judgmental, because the way I want the stuff I want.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will tell you a story about one of my friend Maria and her hole in the wall.
Yeah.
We told her, yeah, there's this hole in the wall, blah, blah, blah. And we told her about it, the name of the restaurant, because there's a little hole in the wall wherever in LA. And so she comes back a couple of weeks later and she goes, so I went to that restaurant and I couldn't find the hole in the wall. She was literally looking for the hole in the wall.
Oh my word.
Oh, love you, Maria. She's one of my best friends. But there's sometimes lost in translation. But yeah, and then we had to explain what a hole in the wall was. So she's like, "Oh, I was looking for a hole in the
actual
wall."
hole in the wall.
So yeah, tell your foreign friends, hey, go check out that hole in the wall, and maybe they'll look for that hole in the wall in the restaurant. So this is actually not too shabby. I'm surprisingly going okay. And I think if it actually had like the real soda in there, it would have been even better.
Mm-hmm.
But the Di Serono actually gave it some good flavor there. So the other one I'll be making is the whiskey sour. This one, so this one called for the cherries again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, instead of muddling in there and having to sift them through, I'm gonna muddle them in my. This used to be my mama's from her punch bowl. That it's been in the family since I can remember. I was a kid. But this has been sitting in the simple syrup for over an hour. So that just means that simple syrup has gotten into the cherries to give it some yummy flavor. Mm-hmm. And it's just 4 fresh cherries, pitted and diced. I just slivered them up and just kind of threw them in there. But this one I put in the simple syrup. Mm-hmm. So 4 cherries, 1 ounce of simple syrup, Then I'm going to add 1 ounce of lime juice this time. So this one had lemon juice. This one is going to have lime juice. And then 2 ounces of whiskey. So, and hopefully I don't stain. Cherries are like beets. It gets everywhere. So be very careful.
Yeah, they will stain your muddler.
So I'm thinking that it's probably going to stain my muddler. It's like, oh shoot.
No, stick your muddler. That's where you keep your seltzer water or club soda and dip it in club soda and let it soak.
Okay. So I kind of did that in here since there is club soda in there. I do have, so I have my little strainer. This is the strainer that goes to this.
Oh, cool.
But I'm just going to use it since I've already done it here. There's no reason to, so I'm just going to pour it in here and use this as my strainer and get all the juices out. So this one's nice because the holes are a little bit bigger, so you're not going to get the cherry getting stuck into your regular strainer. This one is just a little bit, stay, I tell you. And then this is going to go right back in here. So now look at that gorgeous color. That's like one deep color, similar to
it looks like a burgundy on the camera.
Yeah, that's exactly the color it is. It is gorgeous. And then we're going to add 1 ounce of lime juice. And then 2 ounces of, again, the Breckenridge. This was the one I've been using for my mixed drinks here when if you all have noticed over the last few times that we've needed a bourbon or a whiskey, this is what I've been using. And here, look how beautiful that is. So now I'll put in 1 ice cube in here, 1 big ice cube, and then a little mint.
Ooh, the mint into it. Is that real mint?
Yes, from my garden.
Ooh.
So I'm going to have to get a picture of this pretty mint in there. I can even throw in like a fresh cherry, or I can even throw in one of the maraschino cherries. Since this is like the foo-foo maraschino cherries, I can throw that in there too to give it a little something, something. Put this in here. And
So I finished one of my pies. Guess which one I finished?
The cherry.
Yep. Can you tell which one I liked better?
Maybe the cherry. Is there a possibility you might have liked the cherry pie better?
I think yes, because the drink we have is a cherry drink. I'm thinking that lemon meringue would probably really go better with a limoncello for dessert.
Yes.
All right. Or you know what would really go good with this lemon meringue?
What's that?
Is that Pernod we had?
Oh, yes. I think I have it here. I don't think I've taken it home.
I'll bet you that lemon pie would go very well with a Pernod. All right. And remember, you drink Pernod in like a small shot with a sugar cube. You do not drink Pernod, all right, as like a full, big shot of whiskey.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get that cherry to be in my picture, and it is refusing to be. It's drowning my mint.
Here, cherry, 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 cherry.
Right? Oh my goodness. Just trying to, okay. It's my mint has yeah. I'm going to have to go with the first picture that I took. So the cherry's at the bottom. The mint is looking all sad at the top, but oh, wow. Okay.
Tell me your flavors.
So very
tasty
because of the lime. Then of course you got those cherries in there. I like that flavor of the cherry, and I think I would probably add a little bit. If you wanted a little bit less sour, add some of your cherry juice in there. Especially if it's something like this. This one's like very syrupy.
Show that label of that cherry up for the people on the camera. I'll turn it a little bit more. You're a little bit. So the original, I realize her camera's back quite a bit. The original maraschino cherries by Luxardo There you go. Yeah. So, and that's, that's more of an original idea what the maraschino cherry was.
Yeah.
Unlike your really, really bright red ones you see, almost like our sponsored by sign or our drink in our podcast.
Yeah. This
All
one's
right.
red number 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Red dye number 5. Yes, you're eating
number 4. This one's red 40. It's either 40 or 40. So, yeah.
So, do you think tonight's episode, though? I know we're 45 minutes in today's episode. Do you think it was a good idea to do this month with desserts and whiskeys? How you feeling about that?
I usually don't eat desserts. That's the thing. For me.
Wait a minute, Gladys, how can we have a foodie podcast and not do desserts? That's like a sin.
I'm not saying not to do the dessert. I'm just saying I'm not a big dessert person. For me, you give me a scotch or you give me an aperitif or you give me a, kind of a bourbon, and that's my dessert. I love that. Along with a creme brulee or a tiramisu or ice cream.
See, there it comes. The creme brulee and tiramisu. That's dessert.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry pie is dessert. Okay. A nice warm apple pie or peach.
Peach pie. Oh my goodness, I love peach pie.
Okay, yeah. So wait, let me look at the. No, so I'm gonna give you guys the hint so you know, and you can prep and be with us. My wonderful assistant, my wonderful partner actually sent me this wonderful copy. We put it out after we did our show prep. We plan out for the month. So we do plan this out. We really do put a lot of thought into what we're doing for every show. All right.
We have it planned out to the first Monday of August.
Yeah. So these are all the episodes I'm trying to get up on just the audio right now. So anyway, by the way, to all of you listening to our audio, you 2,000 people who have downloaded our podcast, thank you so much.
Woo!
We love you.
Got to grab my pom-pom next time and just be able to hear it.
And I'll tell you, because I have some of my other podcasts that are not getting near the downloads we're getting. I love it. So nice. It is making my day right now, knowing I have a podcast getting the downloads we're getting. Thank you guys so much.
And I will tell you, Tim is the man when it comes to simple ways to vlog or blog videos. That is Tim. That is his life.
Yeah.
I am when it comes to that stuff. If I had to do it, I would get done. Or if it didn't get done, it would be like a kindergartner trying to do it.
You should have been at Craig's event where he made me do a 10-minute talk on blogging.
Oh.
And I stood up and I said, guys, all right, blogging can be hard. Everybody thinks it's writing. Some people don't realize that you can actually record the video, put the video into transcribe, put the transcribed video up as a blog, and put the blog up as a book a year later. Most people are so worried. So let me give you a simple, easy blog post and then explain to you how you can do the same thing. And I read a blog post that I have written, and Craig said he's stealing it from me. The blog post is how to wash your cat.
Oh,
you've seen it because I've shared it with you.
Oh, was this the dog that told us how to wash the cat?
Yes.
Dogs are very smart. So Maverick, the 92-pound German Shepherd, he loves cats, and the roommate has 2 cats. They're adorable, and he agreed that even though he loves the cats, he wants to chase. Should I tell him the story, or should we let him look for it?
I'm not going to read it on the air for this podcast because that would make you want to go subscribe to my other podcast or hear it. So anyway,
go look for his other podcast that will tell you how to wash a cat.
I think timspodcast.com gets you to that one. Anyway, so next week is the 18th, and we are going to do apple pie and blueberry pie. The whiskey we are going to taste with it next week is called Redneck Riviera Whiskey.
Would you like to see it? I have a bottle.
You have a bottle. Show me your bottle because I have to go buy one yet.
I should have had it right next to me, but yes, I have the bottle.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We will be tasting that whiskey next week, along with some apple pie and blueberry pie. And the drink we have that we're going to make with that whiskey next week is called a blueberry whiskey buck. A blueberry whiskey buck, B-U-C-K. You can go look that up. All right, we will have the things onto it. The 25th, this is the one that's going to be kind of difficult to do, and I think we may tweak it a bit because of the fact that it is becoming very, very hard because of this one pie, and that is the strawberry rhubarb pie. It's going to be very hard to find that.
Oh, I can find that here.
Yeah, down here it's tough. My mom, she may be able to get the stuff and make it for me. We'll see as we get closer, but I love strawberry rhubarb pie.
I will have to ask because there is a farm here in Oregon that they do fundraisers. Yeah. And so what they do is that they freeze the pies so that way when the fundraising is going on, everybody picks up a frozen pie. They have to thaw it out before they bake it. So essentially, you can say, I made this pie because it is not cooked. You have to cook it, let it rest, and then so you're essentially making it the night before or the morning to have it that night. Yeah. And I'm going to find out if it can be shipped because I have seen it in the freezers out here. So
okay, so if it is, but the other one that we have that week is we are going to do the second pie that week is going to be key lime pie. And if you guys seen the TV show The Prophet, he bought a company in Florida that does key lime pies. And if I can get a frozen pie from them and ship them both to me, all right, and to Gladys from Florida, from that show, we're going to try their signature. They made a signature key lime pie. If we can get it, we will. But the whiskey we picked up, and I seen this today in the store, and I was almost going to buy it today, but I waited, was the Screwball Whiskey's peanut butter whiskey. And there are tons of people who do peanut butter whiskeys. We decided to try to get, if we can get the same brand, we're going to try to get the same brand so we match taste. Tonight we're off on taste because we don't have the same taste to compare, and we are several states from each other. All right, but the drink that we have to go with that is called the peanut butter and jelly. Okay, and then August 1st we're going to do 2 Americano pies that you cannot do without. And that is strawberry pie and peach pie. And we're going to make a couple whiskey drinks, all right, with the different whiskeys we have left over for the month. Mm-hmm. So that's our plan, guys, all right? So if you kind of want to come along with us, let me know. So,
and I suggest, you might foo-foo this one because I was poo-pooing it. I really was. And I was like, really, really? And when I tasted it, I was like, oh. I was surprised, and I found today as I picked this one up, because it was next to the Jim Beam, just a few over, they have another one that's one step above this one, but I just went with this one, which is their traditional one. Sometimes you got to try stuff that's a little different to see how you like it. Yeah. The peanut butter, the Screwball peanut butter one, I've seen it. I've been like, people have said, you got to try it, and I've been skeptical. Now I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy it because it's on the podcast, so can't wait. And I love PB&J.
Well, that's it. There's a lot of peanut butter. I noticed there was probably a half dozen peanut butter whiskeys on that show. And the Screwball is going to be the bigger bottle. I have to buy the bigger bottle. So I started looking at the smaller bottles. I'm like, we agreed on Screwball, but we may change it up if we come in with a smaller bottle. And we may change our pies based on what we can do. But we're going to try to get pies based on some unique things. Peach pie and strawberry pie. Oh my God. I'm probably going to make that. I don't know about you, but I'm going to probably make mine. All right. Peach pie. On our way back from vacation, we stop at one of the roadside stands that's known for peaches in Texas. And I have 2 peaches left of the peaches I got last week. Yeah. They won't make it to peach pie day. I'm just going to say.
Are you going to freeze them?
No. I will be eating them as whole peaches. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
but
the
pairing
ones
food.
are just okay.
Yeah. We're trying to pair foods with what we're doing. All right. This is not just a drink podcast. This is a drink and food podcast.
Mhm.
And I remember we both talked about it at the beginning. I wanted that. I wanted to be able to taste it with things because I learned taste and I explained. While I was at that distillery, I was explaining to the guy who was the manager and had the podcast. I said, dude, I learned tasting. And the coolest thing on this podcast that I learned in March, I was never a Guinness beer drinker until I had Guinness beer with shepherd's pie. Now we got a combination. See, that's where the flavors come in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, those flavors can make a huge difference. So do you have any shout outs for this week?
Just the people up there at Boot Hill, and I can't remember the girl's name. I promised her I would try. I'd have to look at my post that I put up. Anyway.
He looks her up. I will say Katie at Stafford Liquor, thank you so much for taking care of me. I know that you were looking. You gave me the update, and she's the one that suggested the brandy. And then Josh at the Safeway in Hazeldale, Washington. He's another one that because in Washington, you actually have to press the button because you can get liquor at the supermarket. And because I was looking for the Jim Beam Stag Cherry, and as I was looking, he came up and said, "Can I get you anything?" I mean, I didn't even have to press the button to ask. So Josh, you are awesome. Shout out to him. So yeah, we got people that are just kind and looking to take care of us, even if we can't find what we're looking for. He also suggested the Jim Beam Peach. He said he got it and it was really good. So, you never know what you're going to find. Sometimes, take those suggestions. You might like it, you might not. But try it.
When I seen that today, the peach, I almost thought about asking you to if we do the strawberry peach week where we're going to do drinks of adding that peach, putting that peach, Jim Beam in there. If you want to think about it, let's think about it. Let me know. We'll talk.
Okay. Sounds good. Because that I know I can get it almost at every liquor store that I went to.
Jim Beam, I'm gonna give it. I went to Jim Beam's distillery in Kentucky, 2013, 2014, right around there. I want to say it was 2013, but we got to taste. I mean, you got so many tastings, and what we did is I bought a set of tastings, and Gwen bought a set of tastings. So then we got to taste each other's, and we got twice as much. But at the distillery, they have a legal amount they can sell you in tastings.
Right.
And that's a Kentucky law. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is that if you're sharing, you're still tasting the same amount because you're splitting it.
Yeah. But you get a variation of flavor. But I think this is very important when tasting. I've noticed with the wine and I've noticed with our tasting. Remember, our first podcast we did 3 different vodkas. All right. And when you start putting 3 and 4, like I did that distillery, I had to taste at least 8 different things. I was rinsing my mouth off a lot so that I could get the next taste.
Yeah.
When you start stacking tastes, you start numbing your senses, your taste buds, and it's hard to then decipher your tastes.
Yeah, you got to step away. You got to cleanse the palate. You got to do something to shock it, to get it back to reset it, to taste the next one. Because if you don't, then everything blurs together and you're like, oh, I think I like that one. Well, no, it wasn't that one. It was 2 before that you're still tasting.
You're still tasting, yeah. So we don't do, like when we go to Napa, we only do 3 wineries max per day. That's it. Because you go to a winery, you're tasting 4 to 6 different wines.
Right.
Well, then you move on to the next winery, 4 to 6 different wines. By the time you're at the third, all right, you're at about 21 different flavors you've tasted.
Right.
Your taste palate can't do much more than that. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You're burning your taste palate out. So, yeah.
When I lived in LA and I go up to the Bay Area, San Francisco, San Jose, and we go out to Sonoma, my girlfriend that still lives in the area, she would drive and I would get the tastings and she would be very selective. She would taste a little bit of maybe 1 or 2 of mine. And then when she would come to Southern California or go down to Southern California, then I would be the driver and then she got the tastings and I would sparingly taste here or there. That way we got to taste, but we weren't like getting full tasting. So sharing, that's okay to share, y'all. You don't have to get your own. Well,
I'm pretty sure if you and I went to a different distilleries, all right, we would be sharing. And the same thing. If we ever do a distillery together, the two of us are going to have to record it because it's going to be an episode.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, this
all
is
right, guys.
This was different. I liked it.
All right, we're at the top of the hour for we're at the 1 hour mark for our show tonight. Guys, this has been a fun podcast. All right, this month, whiskeys and pies, ladies and gentlemen. All right, enjoy. Be sure to drink responsibly. Our show is brought to you by both my business and Gladys's. Gladys, tell them about your business real quick.
I am Insurance by Design. I'm in Oregon serving the small business community with their employee benefits. I serve Oregon, Washington, and California small business. And I also help them with anything that's employee benefits, including disability, if it touches the employee, voluntary products, your legal shield, your ID shield, medical, dental, the whole works. It's about the entire package. And there are 101 different employee benefits for all budgets. Look me up at insurancedesignpros.com. And Tim.
Hey guys, ladies and gentlemen, my business is Simple Easy Marketing. I do information and teaching seminars on marketing using blogs, vlogs, podcasts, and repurposing your content. So create content one time, put it all over the internet, all right, in pieces and in different formats, all right, and do one half the work, get 10 times as much work, or 10 times as much results out of your work. Go to simpleeasyevents.com. That's simpleeasyevents.com, where you can actually get our lifetime virtual events. Buy it one time, visit all virtual events, past, present, and future. Tim Gillette with Simple Easy Events. That it? And also be sure to go like our Facebook page, facebook.com/like the way you drink, because we're going to put our recipes up there, as well as go subscribe to our YouTube channel and where you get your podcasts.
Yep, YouTube is important. We're trying to get it to 100. Help us by sharing, because sharing is caring.
Yep. The person who puts the most subscribers on our YouTube channel will be the first person to get one of those decanters when we make it. Go do it. So let's see who's going to do it. Signed up well, worth it. Mary Beth, thank you. Mary Bethany Ola, thank you for stopping by today. All right, it's always good to say. All right, Cindy Lee, we'll look forward to seeing you in 1 week, but we will be back here next week with another show. In the meantime, guys, have a great